What's up, agents? Today I'm bringing you a build so devastating, so game-breaking, that enemies won't know what hit them. Mainly because half the time, you won't even know what's happening either. Introducing the 5-piece 511 Ninja God build. You might ask, why 5 pieces of 511? Well, let me put it simply. If 4 pieces are good, then 5 pieces are phenomenal. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what separates casual players from gods. So without further ado, let's jump into the gear. Starting off with a mask. This mask comes with health and hazard protection, because honestly, if you can't survive the hazards you bring into combat, what's even the point, right? I mean, who needs crit damage or weapon handling when you got a little extra health? It's not like you need to shoot straight or hit hard. You're just out there soaking up all the explosive debris. This mask really lets you embrace the true Division experience, just surviving. It's all about the thrill of staying alive, inch by inch. Who cares about dealing damage when you can just exist? Now, the chest piece, this baby has explosive resistance and status effects. Because, surviving explosions is practically a sport at this point. Plus, we have the tag team talent here. Because who doesn't want to rely on status effects to give their teammates a chance to join in on the fun? Every time you slap an explosive down, you'll feel an overwhelming sense of support as you watch it mildly inconvenience the enemy. It's not about causing real damage or clearing the field. No. It's about watching the enemy stagger just enough to give you that tiny glimmer of hope. That's the real team spirit here. Letting everyone experience the joy of watching enemies take a single step back and shrug it off like a minor inconvenience. Now that's synergy. Then we have the 511 holster. It comes with armor regeneration and, wait for it, more explosive resistance. Why? Because explosives are terrifying, obviously. No one's got time to worry about fancy attributes like crit chance and damage output when you're standing there proudly in the middle of a minefield, practically laughing at the very concept of damage. This holster practically says, bring it on, to every grenade, rocket, and blast wave in the area. I mean, sure, you could stack attributes that might actually help you deal damage to enemies, but why would you, when you could just absorb the explosions all day? I mean, it's not like taking out enemies faster is the goal here. It's about proving that you can tank every firecracker they throw your way. So go ahead, stand there, soak it all in. This is true resilience. Now these gloves, with armor regen and weapon handling, you need armor regen because, well, let's face it, you're probably taking way too much damage with this setup anyway. Like, all the damage. It's practically your job at this point. And the weapon handling? Oh, that's just there to give you that extra edge when you fire the Vindicator at a snail's pace. Why aim fast when you can aim dramatically? This handling strat really lets you savor each shot, one bullet at a time. You'll have the thrill of watching your target flinch while you carefully line up your next shot, enjoying that pure, unfiltered experience of slow motion combat. Why rush a shot when you can just make each pull of the trigger feel like an event? This is next level marksmanship. Slow and steady, with the maximum emphasis on slow. Next up, the 511 knee pads with repair skills and health. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't repair skills meant for a healing build? Maybe. But who says you can't slap them on some knee pads and call it innovation? Picture this. You're in the middle of a firefight. Enemies bearing down. You're half a second away from face planting into the dirt. And then bam! Knee pad health boost. Yeah, I said it. While you're heroically inching along on your knees like a battle-hardened tortoise, these bad boys are keeping you alive just long enough to question all your life choices. They're not just knee pads. They're a full-on survival strategy for the people who plan to spend most of the fight on the ground. And now, this right here, the Ninja Bike Backpack, isn't just a piece of gear. It's the spiritual core, the heartbeat, the very soul of the build. Without this Ninja Bike, every one of those 5 glorious 511 pieces, completely, utterly, irredeemably worthless. It's like the Ninja Bike breathes life into these stats, reaching into the void and pulling out their hidden potential. But with the Ninja Bike, you unleash the force of nature. A build so mighty, so balanced, in ways that no one understands, that it redefines the very laws of this game. I'd even go as far as to say the Ninja Bike Backpack is more than a gear. It's a revelation, a piece that turns mediocrity into mastery. Imagine it as a silent general behind the scenes, unlocking the true potential of each piece. It's like a conductor orchestrating the perfect symphony of subpar survivability and horrible resistance. Take it off and what do you have? Just 5 horrible pieces of 511 gear, scattered, powerless. Put it on, and suddenly, I mean suddenly, it just all works. This isn't a build, it's an experience. It's equivalent of putting... This isn't a build, it's an experience. It's the equivalent of putting high-octane fuel in a lawnmower and declaring it's a race car. Without the Ninja bike, you're just out there cutting grass. With it, you're burning rubber. I can't stress enough. You must have this backpack. No Ninja bike, no build. This backpack holds the key to all things powerful, durable, and, well, confusingly strong in this masterpiece of a Division II engineering build. When you put it on, you're not just equipping a bag, you're becoming a legend. Now, for weapons, we're going with some serious heavy hitters. First up, the Vindicator rifle, because nothing screams unstoppable power like a gun that, well, let's be real, it's barely capable of handling the sheer majesty of this build. The enemies won't know what hit them, mostly because they won't feel it. But hey, at least it looks intimidating. With every shot, you'll send a message. I mean business, just very, very slowly. It's not about shredding enemies. It's about showing them you're equipped with the finest theoretical firepower. Every pull of the trigger lets them know you're here to make a statement, even if that statement is, please hold still while I try to line up this shot. This weaponry is for players who's more about style than performance. And then there's the military 870 shotgun. Oh, I know. It's a close-range weapon in an in-game build. But trust me, when you're in the heat of battle, what better way to show them you're serious than running headfirst in a hail of bullets just to get close enough to fire it? Sure, you'll be risking everything, but the sheer thrill of maybe landing a single, mildly effective shot is priceless. It's like extreme sports, but for Division II players. Together, these weapons say, I'm here for a good time. Not a long time, but if you're lucky, really lucky, the enemies might be so confused they'll just stand there in awe, letting you fire that shot that might just inconvenience them. Now, skill-wise, I'm rolling with the decoy and cluster mines. The decoy is not for distraction. It's for confusing enemies on a metaphysical level. They'll look at you, they'll look at the decoy, and they'll think, wait, why is there 2 of them all of a sudden? And then we'll rain rockets with the technician's specialization. They might not hit a thing, but man, do they look terrifying coming down. So, there you have it. If you want a build that absolutely redefines maximum potential, and by that I mean maximum survivability with minimal impact and hardly any damage, then this 5-piece of 511 Ninja Bike God build is for you. You'll be more unstoppable than a speed bump in a school zone. Don't believe me? Check it out in action. This series is packed full of satire, sarcasm, and entirely too much unnecessary enthusiasm. If you came here for professional advice, expert builds, or useful tips, well, you made a terrible decision. Viewer discretion is strongly advised, as an excessive eye-rolling and facepalms may occur from your friends. This build has not been tested in any meaningful way, and the resemblance to a functional setup is purely coincidental. If you decide to use this setup in an actual combat, please remember, no amount of armor regen or decoy spam will save you from poor life choices. Results may include confusion, humiliation, and regrettable decisions that will haunt you in further missions. And honestly, why did you trust a guy on the internet who wears the virtual badge of I'm clearly an expert? You've been warned. Proceed at your own risk. Thanks for watching, and may the RNGesus have mercy on your soul.